I want to add in actually a couple more pieces with the PEMDAS as far as going through it. And remember, we take addition and subtraction and turn into addition. There's so many different ways that order of operations can shake out, so many different examples. What I'm really trying to do is hit on the main things that cause people problems. So what we're going to look at is page I, the very last page, and this is number 9. So not only does this help us get through the packet, getting our work done, but hopefully it will clear up some of the main issues that people have with it. I know that my order of operations has to take place. All right, add got turned into subtraction. So what happens is sometimes there's a subtraction symbol and I go to change it to addition. So it turns to addition, and here's what you have to understand. It's not always a number that comes after it. Whenever I have a subtraction and I turn to addition, it is the item that comes after it. Sometimes it's a number, sometimes it's a number with an exponent, sometimes it's a set of parentheses. We call that a quantity. So if I turn this to addition, the thing that turns into its opposite is the quantity that comes after it. Technically, in this case, the quantity that comes after it is the thing that is bubbled in the parentheses, all right, which is this item. It's this thing, which ahead of time we know 24 divided by 12 is 2. So we know it's going to be 2 squared. I want the opposite of that. So I have to put the opposite sign in front of the item that comes after it. The item that comes after is this quantity or this grouping of parentheses. So we have to be cautious of that. It's not always just a plain number. So it's not the 24 that turns opposite, it's the entire object that comes after it. So that was one issue. That was brought up today in class by somebody. The second thing is this. I have small parentheses, and then I have big parentheses. Technically, these should be brackets, even though they're not that way. So inside this big parentheses, I have little and little. Here's what some people are doing. What some people are doing is saying, okay, I have parentheses first, so let's do that. I'm going to figure out what all of this parentheses is, come up with a number, and then I have plus 2 to the second. That's not really our goal here. Yeah, parentheses comes first, but inside parentheses, once I'm inside, so now I focus just here, I then have to follow my order of operations again. So you have to be careful not to collapse everything at once. Inside these parentheses, I still must go single operation by single operation. Some will say, Mr. Long, I can do it faster than that. This is not a speed thing. And it's not a conserve graphite or conserve pencil lead thing. This is, can you show your steps step by step to find where the mistakes are so we know that it's right. So I'm inside the big parentheses. So I have little parentheses and little parentheses. Now, since I have 2 of them, I can do both at the same time. Parentheses, parentheses. It won't change the outcome. So I still have my big parentheses. 16 plus 5 now collapses down to 21. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this. So that now disappears. I still have a plus. I have a negative. I want the opposite of whatever this is worth. 24 divided by 12 is 2. This quantity had an exponent attached to it, so this quantity now has an exponent attached to it. Remember, it's the opposite of whatever this whole quantity is. And then I have my parenthesis plus 2 to the second. Okay, so you'll notice I took care of 2 parentheses at once, and the only reason is because I had 2 separate parentheses. So I can handle both at once. Okay, I did not collapse everything, even though this was added, even though this was divided. Okay? Now that I'm here, I'm still looking in the parentheses. So here's my new expression, parentheses first. Do I have them? Yes, I do. Inside the parentheses, I have add and exponents. This is where people do 2 things at once. I'm going to add and exponents all in my head and come up with one answer. That's not what I want. Exponents goes before add, collapse. So this is 2 squared, which is 4. What's the opposite of 2 squared? It's the opposite of 4, or negative 4. I still have a plus 21. I still have big parentheses around. I still have plus 2 squared. So this is my new expression. I have 21 plus -4, the quantity of that plus 2 squared. So I'm still at parentheses because I still have a big set of parentheses here. 21 plus -4 should be 17. That parenthesis goes away, so does that plus 2 squared. So now I'm here, I have add and exponents. Exponents wins out, so I have 17 plus 4. 17 plus 4, magically I get back to 21, totally by coincidence. So two things. If I have subtraction in front of a blank parenthesis, I want the opposite sign, the negative sign, to go in front of the parenthesis. I want the opposite of this quantity. From there, if I have multiple operations inside parentheses, I cannot collapse it all at once. I must do one operation at a time. Okay, I hope this clears up a little bit in getting through those last couple pages when we get bigger expressions. Good luck.